What's going on, everybody? We are here at the beautiful USF. A little quick spin. There's the Bulls back there. And today I'm doing a graduation shoot. I'm gonna put you guys on top of my camera and we're gonna do like a little behind the scenes of today's graduation shoot, and I'll kind of show you my composition, what setting I'm using for each photo, and kind of just the way that like a quick 1 hour grad session goes. So here it comes on top of the camera in 3, 2, 1. Alright, y'all, so you are on top of my camera today for this 1 to 2 hour grad shoot. How I structure my packages is pretty much a 30-minute package for USF campuses, and then also a 1 hour plus. So I really don't make it to where at 59 minutes I'm like, alright, we have 1 minute. So basically I just do an hour or less. So here I like to start off in the area that, especially if the Bulls have nobody by them, I like to start with the pictures there. And get my settings right and pretty much take all the pictures that I kind of want to do by the bowl, because if there's not a lot of people walking around, obviously it creates for less clutter in the background. This is a friend, a client, her name is Alex. She reached out via Instagram to book with me for a grad shoot, and we did this just around I'd say 30 minutes before golden hour, so we met there at around like 4:30, and the sun was scheduled to set at like 5:50 that day or something. Right now I'm using my A7iii with the 85 millimeter f1.8 Sony lens. It's a great portrait lens. I love it for that reason, and this was actually only my third or fourth time using it in that sense. Here I'm just kind of instructing her a little bit. Kind of like just dropping your eyes down, like looking down, just so you can like kind of show your eyes a little bit more. So we'll just do some where it's like just you like this. Sorry, I know it looks kind of girly when I do it. But then we're gonna add the balloons for each one, so you can kind of have some variance. But we'll wait for this guy. Yeah. So basically, I'm just trying to give her general tips for the whole session that she can kind of keep in her head, as far as like always cross your legs, or always put left hand over right, or always make sure like your hair's behind your ears, stuff like that. Even in that last shot, I didn't really like how the gown was in one of her hands and not in the other. Always checking my shots after I take them. Alright, put your Bulls sign up. A big thing, as a college graduate from University of South Florida, so always make sure you have the horns up. So I like to give a good variation of having shots with the horns up and also shots without. For focus mode today, I actually went with the continuous eye autofocus, and with the Sony cameras, it's so flawless. You just hold the button on the back of the camera and you can just get focus on the eye continuously. Just like this on your knees, and then like angle your legs. So here I was wanting her to sit down on this little rock ledge thing they have here, and get a few images of the Marshall Center in the background with like kind of the ambient Bulls as well. I kind of keep the logo on the gown kind of showing, just because the colors kind of add good contrast. Yeah, so do you like your hair in front, or do you like it behind you usually? Crucial point there. Okay, cool. Stuff like that with females, you definitely want to know. Like if girls like their hair behind their ears, you're going to want to make sure that she does that almost every single picture, because you want to create images that she's going to enjoy, not ones that you're going to enjoy specifically. So yeah, I really enjoyed this picture right here. I thought it was really cool, showing her full body with like the Bulls in the background and the Marshall Center. I like that one a lot. Here, her fiance is. I always feel like in the beginning they think you're laughing, but you're just. He was smiling so hard during these pictures, and he was just really happy for her. Just smiling at you. So as you can see, she doesn't have her gown on anymore. I like to make sure also getting a variance of no gown on as well, especially if they wear like a white dress, which seems to be a trend for females with graduation shoots. Yeah. Okay, cool. Do one with your Bull sign up. Again, variations without the Bull sign, with the Bull sign. Really like that image there. All right, cool. All right, now would you like to use the balloons in this setting? Okay. I always like to give the client options as well. Let them be a little bit creative with what they want to see as well, because she might have come in already with ideas of pictures she wanted. Nope, she's good. And sometimes I'll ask for like if you'll send me like some photos you definitely want, or even like a Pinterest board. A lot of times I've experienced girls have like a Pinterest board of photos. Yeah. All right, flip your one around.
So yeah, she had these balloons, and those are really cool. So I made sure to
flip the other one around.
take some pics of her with the balloons pretty much throughout the whole session.
Right there.
I always let all the clients bring things that they want. I bring champagne, 1 bottle. That's included in my large package, and I also bring a bunch of packets of confetti as well. I want to start getting biodegradable confetti because I got some nasty looks a few times when I wasn't using biodegradable confetti. Right there, I just was telling her to make sure she stands on those 2 cracks. Be specific with things like that because you don't want to. I mean, for me, I don't like to move around as much. If I see a composition I really enjoy, I want to capture that, which was this one right here.
No, it's okay.
With her kind of in between those 2 bowls, kind of self-framing the shot. And then obviously I'm taking these in portrait mode to get as much information in that image as I could with her whole body. Yeah, I like the way those bowls pretty much like self-framed her.
Alright, do you want to get on the bowl?
So a lot of times I always want to make sure that I ask the females if they want to hop on the bowl because it can be kind of difficult sometimes. With her fiance being here, it was actually a lot easier because obviously he just helped her up. And then usually I tell them to take their shoes off during this because there is a river, I don't even want to say river, like a water flow. So it just kind of looks weird if you have your shoes on because I think the shoes off makes more sense in essence. But
put your bowl sign up.
So here I'm just making sure to capture a bunch of images of her on the bowl. You can see I'm taking a lot of frames within each part that we're in or each place where I have her posed just so I can make sure if she has a smile that looks better or something I can capture those a lot easier and always make sure I'm not missing anything. So from there we moved over to this little courtyard area. I had her sit on this ledge. This is like a really good spot during harsh daylight, but we didn't really have harsh daylight, so it wasn't as good as I experienced before. And right here I'm trying to finagle with the gown because sometimes when it's all scrunched up underneath her sitting, it can kind of look stupid. And this one it's okay. I would have liked it obviously to be a little bit more underneath her, but she ended up taking it off.
Alright, cool. Thanks. Alright, let's go.
This was actually a really slow day for grad shoots. There's only 2 or 3 other photographers there. I've been at USF when there's been 105. So it actually gave us some time be a little bit more flexible. Here I'm actually switching over to the 28 to 75 Tamron f2.8 just because I see the words in the background. I wanted to be able to get a wide overall shot, but then also maybe a few tight frames with just that big green USF sign in behind her. So I switched over to the f2.8. Plus I also with the 2.8, I didn't want that to be insanely out of focus. So 2.8 was a really good middle ground for getting stuff in the background crispy and then also being wide enough. This lens is really underrated, even though it's at an amazing price point. People knock it for being cheap and stuff. I don't have any complaints for it. I actually think it's a great lens for video and photo. So I had her move to the end just to create a little bit more separation, and I kind of wanted to get a little closer to her and get a few more wide angle shots. I think actually later on I actually switched over to my 24 equivalent millimeter Sigma, and I got a really cool wide angle shot that I liked. So here I just have her standing, create a little bit more depth. Yeah, I really like that one there.
Alright, come sit right here and do I don't know if you can do one of these in that dress? Were you like this? Yeah. Okay.
I always try to demonstrate myself what I mean, just so she doesn't misunderstand what I'm saying when it comes to the posing. So if I can at any point demonstrate myself as to what I want the client to do, then it just makes it a lot easier for posing in general.
Yeah, really nice.
Really big fan of this one.
One second, I'm gonna switch over to my wide angle.
Yeah, so here's why I switched over to that wide angle to get a little bit wider of a shot. It's only about 4 millimeters more wider, but it definitely plays into the equivalent factor. I think that the wide angleness kind of looks really cool. Luckily, like I said before, we weren't battling time with other photographers and stuff, so it was a lot easier for us to be. Obviously, not in a rush at all, but.
Now, it seems like I'm really close, but I'm not.
Yeah, I just love how the perspective of that wide-angle lens looks when you're real close to the subject.
Look over there and laugh again like you did before, but kind of make it
I love when they
different.
bring somebody because it does create for
Make her
more
laugh.
candid moments. But the fiance was just pretty much smiling at her the whole time, so he wasn't really talking too much. He actually was really helpful because he noticed things about like her dress and hair
Come
that,
over
you
here.
know, I don't really know her too well as a person, so he notices things that she likes, and he kept pointing things out, so that was a lot easier for both of us and her to
Very
create better
bottom step.
images.
Yeah, kind of like use the rail to like lean up to, and then do the one leg over the, like right here. Yeah, oh, actually I like that better. Good idea. I like you kind of doing like this, and then we'll do just a few of you kind of like that.
Yeah, so always showing them what to do, not just saying it. Here, I just had her leaning against that railing, kind of with stagger step of feet, and just smiling and looking directly at the camera. And framing that background kind of perfectly to be like the top portion of the
Alright,
screen.
Cool. Okay, let's do a few without your gown right here. And then we're going to try to make it over with that because that sun's hitting that area perfectly right now.
We're going over there.
Over by the...
There was actually a lot of like family portrait sessions going on during this. I mean, it was like, I'd say a few weeks before November or December, so people were trying to get their Christmas card photos done. Really love these shots right here with no gown on and just the USF kind of in the background near the head portion of it. Definitely a big fan of these ones. The good thing about USF is that pretty much all the good locations for photos are in like one area, pending whichever college they graduated from. So
best spot to do
pretty much we walk around this like, I don't even know, not that large, if maybe I would say total of like half a mile in distance. And just like right here, like I'm seeing something that I think would look really good for a picture, and I just point it out and take a few shots, and then we just keep walking around.
And we're going to use the beams in this one too.
And then we find different things to take photographs of.
Very good, you're good. Turn that one a little bit. There you go. Smile big. Yeah, stay just like that. Turn the one a little bit again.
For graduation shoots, I find myself always shooting in portrait mode a little bit more, just because majority of where these images are going are on social media, and they're not really going to be printing a lot of them. So obviously I want them to be in portrait so they can use, you know, the full screen on their phone for Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, you know, stuff like that, where they send images and post pictures. I always try to get a few close-ups too, like that one of the like headshots as well.
I'm going to be over kind of right here, and then you're just going to stand right here, and you're going to...
Yeah, here I was telling her where I wanted her to stand to do the champagne.
This way. Then it's super fake.
But also, I'm telling her, don't look at me when you pop it, because it just looks dumb, like you're looking away from like where the action's happening. Looking like in the direction of where you're spraying the champagne, it just looks more natural, like it's actually happening in real life. We actually ran, it was kind of funny today, this bottle like pretty much popped early, and big key thing here is I had my settings done before I even opened the bottle, like continuous shooting, continuous focus, so I made sure to kind of be already ready for if it popped. And you can see right here it actually pops early, and I wasn't really even ready, but just started firing shots, and luckily I grabbed a few.
You won't really be able to tell, but yeah, it's good.
And it just pops off, and I was like, shake, shake, and she did, and I actually was able to get a few good images. She looked at me, but it was more so like she was trying to like not get sprayed. And she tried again, and her fiance got sprayed a little bit.
Really hard, and it's gonna start to go again.
But those ones came out good because she was laughing at him.
Come more in the middle.
And yeah, guys, I mean, this is pretty much a full hour plus graduation session here. I just took a few more images of her and her fiance. She switched dresses for a few, and then that was pretty much it. That was the whole session. Pretty much got all of the images that she wanted, all the images that I wanted, that she would be happy with, and that's what a graduation session looks like. So thanks for watching.